Back with 34B. I said it in a descending tone in English, therefore it is not a question mark. So, uh,
Wow, okay.
one day I'll get it right. Um, just the pre-roll. Let's see here. Last session was pretty much a long and very bloody fight between, at first, Saryth and her nemesis, Zane. Uh, Eventually, after much shenaniganry, Zane hit a whole bunch of the other pirates, negating the dual nature of their fight and turning this into a melee of at least this whole barroom against everybody else. And we ended where, I believe, I don't know, did Murakana actually get the killing blow with his
He
axe?
like knocked him down and then Saryth burnt him
Okay, there
till he
we
died.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was dying, and then you finished Zane off. So temporally, last session took about 2.5 hours, but probably only encompassed about 2 or 3 minutes
Yeah, like half an
of
hour.
time in actual game. Um,
Yeah, it got a bit intense.
so we open at this point just to do some NPC record keeping. Captain Lascalar and Heel, his first mate, managed to bring down Fictidun over here. Let's just throw some damage on him and kill him. So Zane's first mate is also dead. So at this point, this room is full of the surviving members of Captain Lascalar's crew that was here, you guys, and the body of Zane. I don't think you guys really know. Yep, I think that's what you know. And Saryth, you ended the fight last session just unleashing the Ring of Winter on Zane. And at one point he had popped some immunity to cold, and then your buddies got involved, so that didn't even matter. But at this point, you can just hear the ring kind of speaking to you in a very convincing way, that you've defeated this enemy. Um, you could defeat so many more if you just fully embrace working with the ring. And you're feeling somewhat convinced that that's maybe not a bad idea, but the decision is yours.
I mean, I'll work with the ring. I just won't work for the ring. You know what I mean?
Um, well, you kind of have to make a choice. Do you want to embrace
Yeah.
the offer the ring is giving you, or do you want to take it off and put it away?
Yeah, right. Why not?
You're accepting the ring?
Sure am.
Okay. So at this, as you as you agree to the ring's voice, you feel a moment of coldness comes over your body as the ring, having kind of fully accepted whatever deal it is it's offering. Let me get over here. Everything becomes very simple and clear to you. From this point on, basically anybody or anything who disagrees with you, you will destroy. And it doesn't
Ooh.
matter what the degree of difference is. And this is both a role-playing instruction and kind of a narrative description at the same time. Basically, if somebody disagrees with you or opposes you from this point on, you are going to summon the power of the ring to eliminate that problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So do I have to like kill pretty much anything who says like, no, you can't have that bacon? or is it like a bit more discerning than that?
I'll act as the ring's conscience, I guess, to let you know if you have an overriding impulse to destroy or not. Gale, you notice Saryth had been in a pretty emotionally heightened state. What with the duel to the death and getting long sought after revenge. I'm just going to move Murakana out of the way because he's kind of there. So, but after you're kind of watching from afar as Murakana had planted that axe into Zane, knocking him down, and then Saryth basically kind of executed or sped Zane's passing, however you want to look at it. I don't know if he was going to survive Murakana's final axe blow to his pelvic region.
Probably not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood vessels there.
I think that just went like straight through his pelvis almost. So yeah, generally you don't come back from an axe through the pelvis. Regardless, Saryth had seared him into the great beyond, and she had been very agitated, and you see as she stands up on the steps, just eerily calm. And yeah, I think that's where we're at right now. Captain Lascalar is going to quickly kind of run down to this door, and his first mate, I'm going to move Fictodon and the gladiator-looking guy here.
Hey, Orky's alive.
Oh, no, he's dead. I'm just moving this
No.
token. No, that guy's dead. This one, he's dead.
Oh, right.
Sorry. Oh, we'll just hide him.
No, I thought you meant our buddy. The guy who like wrestled the...
Oh, he's around the corner. He's in front of the door that goes behind the bar. Lascalar is going to run down here, open the door, and shout out to his men. Y'all better get in here quick. This is probably going to keep being ugly. And you hear a bunch of footfalls outside. And at this point, just to set up what's going to happen next,
shit.
you hear, you actually hear immediately the sound of a scuffle somewhere immediately outside the door. And by scuffle, I mean pirates horribly fighting each other. And you hear somebody's sounds of death.
Do I have time to run over to the door to get a better look, or?
I would say you can get to the door. Sure. I'm just kind of trying to move everything else that's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just because a lot of the brawl isn't over yet.
Okay.
So as you get here, you see a couple more of Lascalar's men come in the room, and you hear, like I said, you hear the sound of death from outside, and you hear more steps coming kind of from the west, I guess, and from the door up here, another crew of Lascalar's men start piling in through this door. Gale, do you want to do anything right now, or are you watching what's happening?
We're just watching what's going on.
Okay, I'll probably play Murakana for tonight, just for
First
funsies.
match.
Yeah, I mean, I can play a barbarian, no problem. So Lascalar looks to you, Saryth, and says, so what's your plan now? You taking the ship, or are you moving on?
It's my ship. Fought for too much and for too long to let it go now.
Lascalar nods and said, well, we've got a bit more fighting to do then. And you hear from...
Sorry, one sec.
Go ahead.
That ring is probably tapped out from me throwing pretty much everything it had at Zane.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
That's don't worry about it.
Fair enough.
Let's see here. So we've got about what is this? There's about a half dozen, maybe 10 guys on Lascalar's crew. You guys hear sounds from beyond the door behind the bar. There is the sound of more than a few people, and some of those sounds are agitated. You might guess that maybe somebody from the other side was watching what was happening, and there may be more depths to this inn, or this, not, it's not an inn, but this establishment than you initially had seen.
Okay.
So at this point, I'm going to pause for a second just to see if you guys want to do anything specific before I drive NPC plot forward.
I mean,
Yes. Sorry, go on.
I'm kind of just keeping a gun leveled at the door just in case anyone gets bright ideas popping through.
Well, that's why Saryth moved up. It's because she didn't want you to get like charged by that pirate that's right fucking next to her.
Yeah, I'll say at this point, Lascalar's men and you guys are in some sort of uneasy truce, at least.
So we're not actually like, they didn't just come in and immediately start trying to attack us or anything. They just...
No, they're not attacking you. Lascalar at this point is coming up and preparing. He's talking to his first mate up there, the other half-orc, and they're discussing kind of how they're going to deal with this, because you have just given them an opportunity that they did not think they were going to get.
Because Zane was still a horrifying person and they didn't want to fight him.
Potentially.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, that fucking Lascalar's no slouch either, so...
Yep. Okay. So
Well, they're not immediately trying to kill us, so that's a step up from the norm.
That's good.
So, Lascalar shouts down to you, Saryth, or not shouts, I mean you're right there. Lascalar
Okay,
says, sorry, whatever. Whatever. My game, he shouts, because why not? No, he doesn't shout. So he calls back to you and says, well, the question for you, my new captain, is how much of your ship's crew do you want to try and convince, and how much of them do you want to force to be your crew?
I think I've always had a gift for diplomacy.
He smiles and or more smirks and nods and says, well, the rest of your potential crew, or the rest of the people that you have to get rid of, are probably through that door. There's a couple more. There's a back room to this particular establishment. Zane had been commandeering his efforts out of there, so if you want to try and convince him to join you, have at it.
Shit, okay. I really want to check on fucking like Stella Artisan or them, see if they're like okay, because this has erupted into quite the thing, and I imagine there's pirates spilling about like fucking everywhere right now. I don't know, shit. Can we send Marikana out to go check on them? Maybe?
Sure. I'm gonna say that probably Marikana can go up and do that. Oh, that's a PC token. I probably shouldn't put a PC token outside the walls. We can send Marikana back up to check on everybody, but things down here are going to progress before you know what happens next. So I guess it's more, do you want Marikana present for all of this, or do you want him not to be? Like, I don't care. It's just more of a question.
Oh no, coin flip. I guess.
I would say that right now you don't care. Also, like
Oh yeah.
you're probably at this point your decision making process is either is probably something along the lines of kill them all until they follow me, or try to talk to them and then kill whoever doesn't. Like that's about as far as your
Planning goes. Yeah.
at this specific point. That's as far as your like tactical planning is going, because you are convinced that there is nobody here who can stand in your way if you like however you want to do it.
Even though we just fought someone who very evidently proved that that was not the case. But yeah,
Well,
fair enough. Good. Veracana can go up there.
okay, so he heads out. A pirate comes out of the north and says, "Zane, Fictidon?" And they're both dead, and he looks around and realizes that
Possibly the blood-soaked elf looking back at him is probably the one responsible.
he looks around and he kind of quickly holds his hands up like, wait, did Captain not win? And Lascalar here looks at that guy and says, no, Zane is probably not your captain anymore. And he looks to you. And so...
Saryth just salutes with a scimitar. Actually, which should probably still be on fire because you just burnt Zane alive with it.
Oh, because you've got it doing the flaming weapon bullshit?
Yeah,
I
that
can't...
lasts for like 10 minutes, I think, so...
Oh, we lost everything. It's still in the background from the previous session. Okay. And he says, right, Captain. What do I call you?
What do you mean? I guess Captain is fine. I'm not even sure how to answer that shit.
I mean, you have a name. You can just give that.
Oh yeah, it's Saryth. Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, okay, Captain Saryth. Well, I guess the rest of the crew's
You best bring them here.
back in the private chamber.
Okay,
Okay.
so I guess that's not the way I was supposed to go.
Oh no, you're walking out towards the docks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go out
Sorry,
there.
I
If you
would've-
want to go out there and just take a peek, go ahead. Just so you can.
No,
review
I
the
meant
map.
more. I thought that was like the way I was supposed to go to meet his crew. Never mind. Didn't see the double shot.
Yeah, this place has some stuff going on. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So he heads back in,
So just,
and yeah, let me
Oh.
kind of.
there's a-
Yeah, you notice as that pirate goes, that big beer barrel in the middle. That's not a barrel. That's just a
Yeah.
potential
It's the
hit.
path.
Like the front just opens. And he has.
Where's Rio? He's gonna be so mad.
I know, right? He has left it open. Let's see here.
Hey, Gale, want to come with? I want to see how many charges that Wand of Lightning has. I guess not.
Okay. Oh, let's see here. Oh, wow. I have 2 copies of Fictidon. Oops. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, I'm doing some organizing real quick because,
You're right.
you know. And so the guy comes through, and there's a few more pirates in this room. This room looking very much to be just a general purpose storeroom. There's a door that's actually closed going to the north, because because I'm gonna close that door. And then you can hear the sound of water coming from the west, kind of where those two pirates are standing. They're standing at where the passageway kind of goes out, you assume, to another inlet from the ocean. And there is a torchlit pathway going to the east. And as you walk in here, this first pirate says, I think Zane's dead, so I think this is our new captain, I guess, because she killed him. And one of the pirates says, she ain't Zane, and this guy rushes at you.
I kill it.
Yeah, so...
I can't access ring abilities, but...
so basically, you feel just power swell up in you, and you raise your hand that's wearing the ring, and you know in the back of your mind that there shouldn't be anything left in it, but you blast him with basically like a ray of frost, but more powerful than any you've ever felt, and he just goes flying back, half frozen into that wall, and crumples dead, and it leaves a wake of frost across all of these boxes, and you start exuding an aura of ice and frost around you as you move forward. And this other pirate goes, yep, Captain, okay. Yeah, the next room might, I don't think that all of them want to join. And this guy says, I'm not helping. I'll wait here. He just kind of looks at you in fear. And the other two, another guy comes running up. Hey, what? And he just looks at everybody and goes, I'm going to tend to the dinghies.
Most wise.
So basically the pirates in this little dock area, if you want to move over, there is a caved dock to your west there. This is kind of the hidden entrance. Actually, it's probably good that Gale and Murakana aren't here. So they're going to all pile back in. We'll just kind of play this out. I think I'm going to go pretty narrative from here with a little bit of input from you, Saryth. So all of these guys in this room, in this cove, are just kind of like, yeah, right, Captain, yep, you're the captain. They're perfectly happy to go along with you. There is the door beyond, where the rest of the crew of your old ship that apparently is maybe still loyal to Zane are awaiting the return of their dead captain.
Well, in that case, shit. Can I retcon and say that Saryth cut off his head and is taking it with her?
I mean, you could even just go back and cut his head off.
Oh yeah, all that.
So you walk back out. At this point, I mean, keep in mind you are leaving a trail of frost behind you as you walk.
Yeah, but at this point, she wouldn't give a shit, would she?
No, you don't care. But Gale, Saryth is fucked up. Cool. I guess there you go. You have sliced Zane's.
I take his scimitar too.
So when you grab a scimitar, it is a scimitar of life stealing. It has.
Is it going to actually life steal me or?
No. It's a. We'll figure this out later because it may or may not.
She just takes it.
But it no longer has the properties of being a packed weapon. It has lost those because that does not carry on after death. So it is a magical weapon. Basically, it on a hit of a 20 does extra damage and heals you.
Did it count as a +1, or is it that was the packed part?
I'm gonna say I didn't think too hard about that.
No, that's fine anyway.
It is magical, that's for sure.
Just carrying it for authenticity of, I bested
Sure.
him and blah
Yeah.
blah.
He also had a whole bunch of pistols, and he actually had 6 pistols. I just never got to use any of them. They were on bandoliers on his chest. Fun side note for me, I was hoping to... Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. I had ideas. I had too many ideas, and I could not execute all of them at once. Yeah, I think that's the only real...
Yeah, she takes his sword, so I don't think she has time to
Yeah. You pick up his
equip all the
sword,
pistols.
get his head, there you go.
She's just dragging it along. Like,
I mean, I don't think you need to drag it. You're not that short.
but no, but knocks on the door with Zane's head.
There is you hear sounds of people behind the door, but nobody opens it.
Stand back a bit, put the head down, and then blast the door with ice, if I can.
Sure. Yep. You pretty much have unlimited narrative use of the Ring of Winter right now.
Wait.
So you hit the door. You see one person kind of dive out of the way as it flies across the room and smashes into the bar beyond. And that one person was you saw a pretty hulking looking pirate dude dive out of the way of that door.
Picks up the head and keeps going.
Okay. So as you walk in this room, there are a bunch of pirates from Zane's crew flanking both sides of the door, and one dude in the middle who steps up. He sees that you have Zane's head in his in your hand. Sorry, because I can get pronouns right now. Sorry, I'm just double checking something. Oh yeah, that's good. So he sees the head in your hand, this big bruiser of a pirate, and says, "I reckon there's a chance for a leadership change right now."
There is. It just depends on where you fall on it.
He snorts and then draws his scimitar and smashes it against his buckler, kind of taking a very combative stance against you. Arcane hand. Oh, you're doing that one? Just
Oh boy.
the frost hand? Okay, so here's how I'm going to play this out. He narratively is going to go to attack you, and you hit him with that giant hand of frost, right? Because this is basically Bigby's hand, but it's frost style. Moreover than even what you expect to happen, it's almost like a fist of ice slams him into a wall and pulps him and freezes him as it pulps him. At that point, everybody else in here rushes you. And there's a mage in the corner that moves out and starts just slinging spells at you. This is when we get a bit narrative. And I think this is where we're going to maybe say goodbye to Saryth.
Oh dear.
You unleash. You channel what you think is... you're reaching for the power of the ring's freezing expansion ability combined with like casting Ice Storm. And the effect is beyond anything you would have expected. The blast of cold and ice annihilates this room, and actually the entire western wall up here blows out into the ocean, rhyming the surface of this shallow bay into ice. Gale, you're on the other side here. You feel and hear this reverberation of the ice and feel almost a wave of cold coming from the room beyond, where Saryth has gone and is presumably having a fun time of it. while you were gone, Lascalar and a couple of his men had went into that room with the barrels. And at this point, I'm going to have to switch the map, and I'm going to show you guys this because it's going to make sense later. Whoa. Don't worry if you can't see anything. That is the place I'm looking for. Let's get some tokens up in here. Saturday group, Gale. And I'm gonna Saryth bring you down here just so you can see it. Is that what I want to do? Sorry. Double checking my mental thoughts here. That's the upper, that's the cove, that's there. Cool, awesome. So down in this room, this is probably relevant to you, Saryth. These two pirates here are guarding a handful of prisoners that are being kept down here. One of which is a centaur that has been hobbled at all of its hooves. Captain Lascalar's men swarm down here, and Lascalar and his first mate very swiftly dispatch both of the pirates that are down here and free the couple of prisoners down here. There's a couple of Chultans, a couple of, it looks like probably Flaming Fist patrolmen that were caught, and Saryth, there is the centaur that you will end up playing. And Lascalar says, "Y'all better come with me. You can join my crew or you can go for the jungles, but we should probably get out of here pretty quickly." And then they head upstairs. And Saryth, I don't have your
What's going on?
but they cut your bonds and you are free. The Chultans and the Flaming Fist guys pile up the stairs. Do you choose to follow?
Centaur?
The centaur, sorry.
Follow, like what, Gale on that? Yeah.
Huh?
Who is she following? Like the pirates or like?
You would be as the centaur character following the other pirates out of this cellar that you have been imprisoned in since you were taken off of Zane's ship.
She wouldn't want to be there.
Okay, cool. And I'm showing Gale so that you can see what's going on as opposed to a black screen. And we'll probably have to take a. Oh my god.
Don't die on us, Grim.
I don't know how to drink water.
It's alright. It's a task that humans haven't quite mastered yet.
I had a whole glass of vodka. I'm fine. Drinking the water is what makes me cough. It's fucking ridiculous. So,
it happens.
Saryth, I'm actually going to move you because your new character is here. That crunching blast of frost that you heard, Gale, and that Saryth, what's your new character's name? Do you have?
Xanthiel.
Xanthiel. You both felt and heard that. As you hear various sounds of rock and dirt kind of collapsing further to the north, you also hear an ear-splitting screech. Gale, you can surmise that this is probably from the rock that made its nest on top of the newly collapsed chunk of this place that was a bit to the north. Hopefully let's see here. So Lascalar piles out, and his crew are pretty much beelining for the dinghies out the front door. They're not bothering to stay around and see how Saryth decides to take command of her ship. What do you two want to do?
Well, Xanthiel doesn't even know who, like, Gale and And Marikana, I don't think Marikana's even there. She's checking on. So she'd probably like run outside, I guess, and not want to be in the cell or in the vicinity of it. Probably grab her shit. If she...
Yeah, we have nothing on right now except that it doesn't sound good.
She don't want to be in here.
Yeah, so Gale, you basically see Lascalar and his men disappear into the door behind the bar. You hear an explosion and can feel the cold from beyond, from where Saryth had gone. And then Lascalar and his men, with a whole bunch of other people, all just kind of come out, hop the bar, and go out the front door. I'm going to remember your character. Oh, Jesus. What just happened? Cameraman got all screwed up. Oh, I have to activate the scene. Pow. That helps, doesn't it? Sorry about that, guys. I did a bunch of characters moving without you able to see it. Yeah, so everybody piled out. Yeah, sorry, Laokin, about the Zendala bit. Don't worry, we'll be able to hopefully keep Zendala around. I'll say at this point, Murakana, let's see, these guys headed out. Murakana pops his head in the door over here and says, "What the hell is going on? The rest of the crew's out here, but we should probably get going. I don't think I
Stay
can
with the big
ask
man.
that bird a question."
Yeah, I'm staying with the big man.
So, and Gale, you see, I guess, does the centaur run out?
Yeah, I guess, for lack of having a token with a something.
And Murakana is stunned by the centaur and goes, "I want to
Oh,
ride
no.
you."
Oh, no. That's exactly what a fucking female centaur. She just backs the fuck up.
No, not like, not like that. Whoa, we should get out of here. Sorry, this is what happens when I try to roleplay Murakana.
Let's take our chances with the collapsing building now. Oh, God.
And we'll say, let's see here.
Hey, Artis, what's up?
And Artis is like, yeah, I'm guessing that didn't go well for Saryth. And
Reaching and fighting a giant bird in the distance.
yeah, so the rock is basically you see the rock rear up above, because you guys can kind of see the upper level from here, and you can see that part of it has collapsed. The rock had taken off into the sky and is diving down. You see a blast of frost hit the rock, and kind of clip one of its wings, and then it tumbles into the rubble, and there is the sound of just all sorts of mayhem happening. You hear a few screams, not many, fewer than you may have anticipated, and a lot of quick sounds, and then kind of an eerie silence after a few weird crunching and blasting sounds. And the temperature here is starting to rapidly drop, to the point that as you guys are exhaling, it is starting to steam as you exhale, and a rime of ice is starting to cover the cobbles and the walls around you. Artis is looking around and saying, "I think we should probably go right now. I don't think we're going to be able to negotiate with Saryth."
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Obviously, Zendala looks upset. Like she kind of makes to go in, and Artis grabs her and says, "We can figure this out. Like, don't go in there now. If you want to get her back, we'll find a way, okay?" And she just kind of slumps and nods, and lets Artis start taking her away. we'll do introductions, I guess, in a second once we get the character in. But do you guys want to do anything else here, or do you want to skedaddle?
I'm good with skedaddling.
Alas, Xanthiel probably isn't as much of a thief as the professional salvage expert. Thank you, salvage even. That Saryth was. So probably isn't going to be interested.
We'll also say you were able to kind of grab your stuff,
Gear and
Xanthiel,
stuff.
on the way out. Like, it was in that room with you. So you managed to grab at least some of it. And we can probably sort that out. But I will say at this point, you guys run away, basically, as you hear all of this stuff. You see a bunch of Lascalar's guys in rowboats kind of sailing out, or not sailing, but rowing out. He kind of waves at y'all as they sail away towards his ship, which is in the inlet here. Let me start preloading the map just so it makes sense. Oh, did I hit preload or activate? I hit activate. Well, there we go. So as you guys head out, this spot, this Rock's Nest Cove, had been kind of nestled in Refuge Bay. I'm sure the map will take a while to load, but you guys had flown across the water, and this little cove you're able to climb up and out of. And as you escape and get away, you see a figure with a few other humanoids with, you assume this is Saryth, literally freezing a path across the somewhat calm waters in this bay to get to her old ship. And you see, you can only assume the pirates loyal to Saryth after all of these events and the destruction of most of the Rock's Nest Cove here. They board her ship. And as you guys settle into camp after getting far enough away, you see Saryth and her new crew, under the power of an icy wind, begin sailing north out of Refuge Bay here, and off into the, I guess this is the Shimmering Sea, the Shining Sea, to points that you don't know. And Artis is just really exasperated.
She didn't waste any fucking time.
Hmm?
Yeah, she didn't waste any fucking time.
I know, right?
And Artis turns to you, Gale, and says, I mean, that's probably
Fucking told you so.
That's probably not Saryth anymore. And Zendala just seems completely like this has been like.
Well, yeah, that's like the worst fucking day out ever.
I mean, the second worst day, maybe.
Well, yeah.
Second or third worst, but like, yeah, she's lost her family. She's lost her erstwhile lover. She committed atrocities herself and just saw you, Saryth, fall to the ring that she gave up, and she's just kind of done for the day. There's nothing left in her tank. And there you go. Saryth has reclaimed her ship and has taken it to God knows where. Gods know where. So that may be a problem to solve later. So y'all are sitting around a campfire. I'm just assuming you're sitting around a campfire because that makes sense at this point.
Yeah. Shoot. Okay.
So do you want to describe your character, Saryth? Or not Saryth? That's not your name
Not
anymore.
anymore. Shit. Okay. Well, she's a follower of Sevarus, I suppose, the god of prophecy. She's fairly
See
old.
this one coming?
I know, right? No, she didn't. So like knew that she had to be in a place at a certain time but her vision was to try and stop this death curse. She didn't really prophesize a pirate going crazy and yeah, she's just a pretty old, like 59. So I think as centaurs go, that's close to the end of their rope.
Okay.
But like 8'2", which apparently is still short for a centaur. Jesus.
I mean, I'm assuming that's at the head.
Yeah, at the head, not the.
Or that, whatever.
I'm not even sure how horses are measured.
How many hands tall would you say your centaur is?
I don't know, just pretty tall compared to the rest of the group. Not very big for a centaur. But I'd say most of that's because of age.
Okay. So
She's just kind of like fucking scribbling in her journal at the moment because she doesn't know any of you.
cool. So Artis will introduce himself. And kind of briefly explain that they had been on this quest to figure out. He's on 2 quests, I guess 3 quests at this point. He's got a quest log building up. He kind of gives a recap that both of you know of the past week. I don't want to belabor review the whole plot. And so
It's happened thus far.
Yeah, recap everything that's happened in the prior 30 sessions. Boom, lore dump. He explains that he had been trying to figure out what's going on with Mesro, and they're kind of stuck there. You guys know that the Soulmonger is somewhere in Omu, and now probably there's going to be once the Soulmonger is dealt with, he's going to have to decide if he goes after Mesro or goes after the Ring of Winter. With Saryth.
Yeah, because she's probably doing something very unsavory towards people who happen to be sailing the seas at the same time she is.
Yeah. So Artis looks to you, Zavala, and Gale, and says, "Well, I think I'm probably gonna try and head down to Omu. I think Saryth in her current state I can't really do anything about, but at least I can try and figure out what's going on with this Soulmonger, and maybe if I survive that, I can get back to the Obanashi and figure out what's going on with Mesro. So I guess either of you are welcome to come with me, or I can try and direct you how to get back to civilization from here. It's up to you."
I mean, I've got no better plans.
Oh, I've spent this much on this job, might as well try and see it through.
Okay.
Just glad I didn't get frozen solid back at it.
Okay, so
I think she was.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I think if we did decide to confront Saryth in that particular mode, like, even before she started going, like, completely apeshit, she was the equivalent of a 15th level caster, wasn't she? Or something like that, with the ring.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but sure. The
Just
ring
with
is
the
weird,
amount
right?
of spells that you could throw, yeah.
But I think you were technically pretty tapped out, so...
Oh, yeah. By the end of that fight, I'd used everything, like, literally all the charges.
Yeah. The ring has an extra gear once you accept it, which, there you go, it just happened.
That'd be it.
It has the DM Fiat gear. The most dangerous of gears. So I think at that point, do you guys want to discuss anything or do anything before moving on?
What's this? I guess besides fucking Xanthiel creating food and water for him, not really.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't have anything that springs to mind.
So I am going to
Oh wait, she casts. Got the
She casts what?
motivational speech.
That's literally a spell. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
have a look.
Oh, do we have Xanthiel in here already?
Oh, I got her in D&D Beyond and linked to the campaign.
Oh,
So
cool.
I just
Where is she? Xanthiel.
I couldn't figure out how to import her into the actual like thing. I think you have to do that.
I think I have to make you a character. So that's how you spell Xanthiel.
Yep.
Okay, let's make a player character. Let's add it to the Saturday squad. See, if I was a smart person, I would have, done this
But
ahead
I'm
of
just
time.
amazed at the description or the flavor text of this spell. I once heard a motivational speech by Jim, and it was the worst 90 seconds of my life. What does Omen see in him anyway?
Where is that?
Oh, when you click on the arrow next to motivational speech, it'll like expand it out in detail.
What book is that from?
I don't know. I think it's just a spell.
Okay, I'm
It's
just
just a thing
I'm just
players
curious
have.
at this point because like that seems pretty off-brand for 5th edition.
I know, right?
Let me go find Xanthiel here and get Xanthiel loaded up. Oh wow, that's a face.
All right.
Sorry,
Oh,
that
it's just one I quickly pulled in. I didn't. I have
yeah,
to
no,
find it later.
that's fine. I'm just
Default centaur image because there was two to choose from and one was male. So
I'm just getting the. Oh Jesus Christ, stop it. Nope. If I could click the right thing, pa-pow, pa-pow. I don't think I'll have. Oh, it'd help if I'd move the map on the camera to the. No, can I not? There we
having
go.
fun.
Yeah, I'm having all sorts of fun over here. Okay.
Oh, this looks like we can't have Saryth fly everyone now. Damn it.
Oh well.
Rip.
Configure permissions. Saryth. Owner. Save changes. Okay. Let's see. So let's hit.
Hey, there we go.
I'm going to hit the button for a second. There we go. We're back. Yeah. So this.
Yeah, they're fucking ridiculous for defense.
Do you wanna explain?
Yet another person to stand behind. Noted.
So yeah, now we'll have a Centaur Cleric of the Forge, which is just
Meant to be a frontliner in the absence of Americana.
yeah, or really a supporting frontliner with Maracana.
Yeah, also that, because she can just boost him and or Gale.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me look at your spells real quick, just so we can have a fun moment of gaminess. Okay, Guidance, Light, Toll the Dead, Thaumaturgy. You don't have Dark Vision, correct?
Don't think so. She's a fae, but I don't think they can see in the dark necessarily.
You're resistant
No.
to fire.
Yeah, that's the forge thing.
You're proficient with all the armors. You speak Common, Sylvan, Abyssal, and Celestial. So that's cool. Let's look at
Because
features.
cleric.
You got Channel Divinity because you're a cleric. You've got Blessing of the Forge, which that's a +1 bonus. So
Until she long rests again.
you do have to declare it between
Oh,
long rests, just as a bookkeeping note.
Yep.
Passive abilities, Equine Build. You count
It means
as
it's harder for her to climb, I think.
harder to climb, but you count as one size larger when determining. Well, we don't really use carrying capacity, but pushing and dragging, you're stronger.
Yep.
But you suck at climbing. spellcasting Divine Domain. Destroy undead. Starting at 5th level, when an undead fails its saving throw against turn undead, it's instantly destroyed.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Though, to be fair, the other cleric can do that too. It's just he never has.
I mean, the other cleric is learning stuff, although he apparently might want to run Curse of Strahd in some point 6 months or further in the future, so we'll see what happens there.
That'll be interesting.
I sent him the book, because if we wrap this up, I might run one campaign and play in another, but we'll see. Okay. Oh, you're observant. Okay. What does this do? So
Passive perception is 21.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
That's what it does.
Observant is one of those feats that's just cheesy as fuck. Like it doesn't sound so powerful when you first look at it that you actually see it once and you realize, oh wait, no, it does.
Yeah, and her passive investigation is 15, even though she doesn't have any intelligence.
Man. You can read lips.
Yep.
Okay.
And some other things.
And then let's check your prepared spells just for fun. Shield of Faith, Healing Word, Bless, Identify. Oh, we have 2 identifiers.
Yes.
But
because of her forge thing.
You don't have Detect Magic, correct?
Not ready.
Not ready.
Like, she can have it, but...
Gale, do you have Detect Magic?
I don't believe I actually do, no.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was usually
the artificer spells are all fucky with dashes.
Okay, Augury. Okay, let me read this, because this might actually be important.
Yeah, it's so that the DM can give me hints pretty much on where to go.
You get a wheel for good results, woe for bad results, wheel and woe, or nothing. So basically, Augury is a chance for you to ask me metagamey questions.
I mean, I've been doing it enough so far, so I figured why not have a literal oracle?
Prayer of Healing, Heat Metal, Magic Weapon. You touch a non-magical weapon, it becomes magical at 4th level. Oh my god. They gave that at 4th level?
What is it?
Oh no, that's a slot of 4th level. Okay.
Oh, yeah, heat metal. When it's boosted,
No,
is fucking ridiculous.
I'm looking at magic weapon, actually.
Oh.
Incite Greed. This is great recording material where I read spells and think about it. They're charmed by you. So this is to force people to come at you. So basically this is like an aggro spell. Okay.
Yep.
Motivation.
Which is great for a tank.
Good God, this does actually say... I once heard a motivational speech by Jim, and it was the worst 90 seconds of my life. What does Omen see in him anyway? Walnut dank grass. I'm going to have to look that one up. Tongues create food and water. Protection from energy. One type of your choice. Acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Elemental weapon. You can make it a magic weapon that does elemental damage. So that's magic weapon plus elemental damage.
Yep, which is why she has a mundane weapon.
Death Ward.
That'll come in handy.
Is that for Murakano?
Yep. First time someone drops to 0, they instead drop to 1.
Fabricate.
Can build things. This was primarily for Gale.
Interesting. Okay.
Just in case Gale needs something built, I can help with that.
And Wall of Fire.
Nice, nice.
Cool. Okay, so we got, Wall of Fire, Fabricate, and Death Ward are the high levels. Cool, okay. This is
also... I noticed way too late that fucking Druids actually have basically no supporting spells at all. Like, she has one, which is to create a feast, and that's it. Everything else isn't a buff.
I'm just pulling up my calendar real quick to find out where you guys are in relation to the other party timeline-wise.
I mean, my other druid has plenty of buffs. If you want to be... Yeah, maybe.
Like, I guess if you count Polymorph to, like, boost a teammate out of, like, nearly dying into a giant ape or something, then yeah, but...
So I am going to do some quick timeline editing. Okay, cool. So you guys are currently, I guess it doesn't matter now, but you're just for plot purposes. When you were in that weird dream sequence as Saryth,
Yep.
that happened after you guys. That happened while you were camped outside of the Forsaken Tree, after you had killed the Necromancer in there.
Okay.
So at this point, you're a couple days ahead of. I reserve the right to adjust this timeline at a certain point for reasons, but right now you guys are about 3 days ahead of the other party, you think.
Okay.
So like they reached Omu about 3 days ago, and you would know that via the Sending Stone.
Yep. Which Sarah totally dropped.
I'm probably actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm probably gonna hand wave a little bit of this.
Because Xanthiel can cast Sending as well, but she'd have to know the other people in the party. Or in the other party, I should say.
Well, it doesn't matter when that happened. I'm gonna say you're. We'll see. Whatever. I may fudge the timeline. We'll see what happens. Oh, that's a good thing for me to know. That person's not there. Okay. So you guys, has the map loaded for all of you?
Yep.
Okay. Have you found yourselves on the map?
We're at Refuge Bay.
You're
Rock
at
Nest.
Rock's Nest Cove.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say you're actually down here.
Yep. Yeah, because we like pieced out of there.
Yeah. So you saw Saryth sail away, completely under the power of the Ring of Winter. So at this point, morning comes. Y'all get a long rest. So it's, I guess Gale, more for you. Feel free to long rest and recharge your wand. At this point, the question becomes, what do you want to do?
Well, open to suggestion. Like, what did Artis say he was going to go off somewhere to like figure out everything?
So
Artis's plan was.
Go ahead.
Oh no, that was all I had.
I didn't hear you. We talked at the same time.
Oh, I said I believe Artis's plan was going to Omu.
Yeah, basically. In conversation, Artis pretty much explains that there's until he assumes that until the Soulmonger is solved, if the Bara, the Guardians of Mesro, if it is truly somewhere else, he doesn't think that they would have any reason to bring it back before the Soulmonger is taken care of. Because like, why would you come back to a plane of existence where death is permanent? So his assumption is go to Omu, figure it out, solve this Soulmonger problem, and then talk to Zendala and figure out what to do. And Zendala generally agrees with this. At this point, Zendala is pretty much just depressed.
Yeah. Can see why.
Because just the last 5 years of her life have not gone the way that she thought they would. And in the last few weeks, it's been a pretty brutal. Her plan A rapidly became plan Z.
I mean, Join the club.
Yeah. But hey, at least you got a dad back.
Oh, we were talking about the game?
I mean...
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's got a dad, so she's got one living family member. So I guess she's got that going for her. Yeah, and we can probably work out backstory a little more. Sorry, I didn't think about backstory on your new character as much as I probably should have.
That's alright. I don't think I've written that much yet, so...
So the basics of it is I'm not sure where you're from. I'm assuming somewhere.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
like, she could come from the Feywild, as it were, because, well, Centaur are all Fey, like, as a general rule. At least the playable ones are. Because there is a, the generic monster version, which are, basically barbarians.
So we can hash the details out, but
yeah, we can figure that out.
I'm gonna say with your comment about divination and knowing that you had to try and get here, I'm gonna say that the divination that you had, the visions you had been driving you towards Cholt, and you had been on a boat for that purpose. That Zane Mornell had attacked and captured you. You had survived, and his plan. He had tried to force you into his crew. What is Xanthiel's? What is her alignment? Just out of curiosity.
Lawful neutral.
Okay. I'm gonna say he tried to press you into his crew, and you had been resistant to it. So he was trying to decide what to do with you. And when you sailed into Rock's Nest Cove, you're not 100% sure why he was there, but you were taken and thrown in that basement with the rest of the captives.
Yep.
And that's kind of where you were when this whole thing happened. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So in a roundabout way, you got closer to the Soulmonger.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, she does have that. She should probably keep casting that just as a general rule, like that augury thing.
Oh, augury, just
get a sense of where to go and all that sort of shit. Yeah.
Like once a day, she auguries unless you say otherwise.
Yeah, it's a ritual, so it doesn't cost her anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're feeling a push to go south.
Yep.
Just to solve this whole Soulmonger problem. So you know that you should be going south. Artis and Gale, you both know where Omu is, because it was revealed to you, God, like weeks ago at this point, and you know.
A ways back, yeah.
Yeah, back at Oracle.
They got a map though.
Yeah. So yeah, do you guys just wanna what do you want to head south through the jungle? You want to head south through the kind of grassy
through the treacherous mountain pass?
That'll be. Yeah, which way do you guys want to go if you're heading to Omu?
Well, I guess we're not flying anywhere.
Not anymore.
Alas, flying is now off the table, even though you.
Well, for now, like at the next spell level, she can do Windwalk, so which gives the whole party flying.
Well, you can't do that now.
Not now, but later.
So here, let's.
And I suppose she is a centaur, so she could like probably easily carry Gale or something. But that doesn't really do much for the rest of the party.
Onwards and upwards, Pegasus.
something, my little centaur.
Yeah. After that comment, she's not going anywhere near Americana, but.
So you do realize, after spending a night with Murakana, that he's more awkward than anything else. And that his comment about riding you was literally, he was like, it's a horse
Yeah,
person. I should try and like ride them
yeah,
into
yeah. No.
combat.
I was just
Um,
being facetious.
I know. That just seemed like the most appropriate arm comment I could make in this moment.
Probably not wrong.
Um,
He means well. He's just a little bit dumb.
Yeah.
yeah. So I revealed some map just to make life slightly easier. We'll say you guys were able to see this when you were flying on Saryth. So it's pretty much unbroken jungle down to wastes and mountains to the south. It is up to you to decide how you want to try and approach Omu. You could go through the jungles. You could try to walk over the mountains. It's up to you.
No, I would probably suggest, since the other group kind of blazed the trail, I guess that'd be the faster way. Has anyone stopped at Hisari or whatever it is?
So Artis can tell you that Hisari is a ruin.
Oh.
It used to be. Let me get the Tomb of Annihilation book, something I haven't cracked on Saturday in a while. There's Rackhammer, Hisari. So it's a ruined Yuan-ti city. It kind of stands in the shadow of the Crown, which is a fuming volcano that you know stands kind of between Hisari and Omu. It used to be the home of Yuan-ti in Chult, but something happened that caused the city to pretty much collapse into the earth. So the city, there's nothing there now besides ruins, but about half of it fell into a kind of like a giant sinkhole. The other half has been completely overtaken by nature. So
Could
it's
probably check it out while we pass by it. Because unless we like want to cross over a mountain, which looks like it has a volcano on it.
Yeah, I mean, you said it was at the foot of the crown, right?
kind of
Or
so that if you pull the map a little bit south, that big volcano, um, that caldera that's kind of, if you draw a line between Hisari and Omu on the map, there's a volcano
yeah,
there. That's the crown.
right.
Hisari is at the edge of
Okay,
the
yeah.
wastes that the other group went through.
All right.
You guys just want to head down there?
Yeah.
Seems like the best bet at the moment.
Okay, so we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah. I'm gonna montage this just to make life simpler. There's not a whole lot in the forests here. You're able to avoid any of the larger dinosaurs you see. I'll say a couple places along the way you do run into some token undead presence, but you're able to pretty easily dispatch it at this point between Zandala's casting, your cleric's turn undead ability. Gale, you can cast lightning bolts like a motherfucker. So the various zombies and ghouls that you encounter along the way towards Hisari, they aren't very difficult to deal with. As always, the ever-present heat and humidity is more of a challenge than anything else here. Especially after the events that you guys have been through, it's just kind of a somewhat demoralized trudge through the jungles as you head south towards these ruins. Once you get there, Hisari is a city of two halves. The northern half that you come upon, Hisari kind of straddles the border of these desolate sand wastes you see to the south. Kind of like, I can't move the token right now. I can probably move it if I'm... Yeah, there we go. So Hisari, the jungle half of it, is a pretty regal city, or at least it was. Now there are the ruins of golden domes, completely overgrown with vines and trees and bushes and shrubs completely having overtaken the city. If you get up to the edge of the sinkhole that Hisari, the southern half of it, fell into, it basically collapsed a few hundred feet into darkness. You can make out some taller buildings, but there is no clear way to actually get down into that sinkhole at this point. Short of like busting out some climbing gear or finding magical means to fly down into the bottom.
Which Zanella could totally do, I would like to point out.
She could fly herself down, but she can't fly anybody else down.
Yeah. I think she can touch someone else to do it, and then if they're strong enough, they could carry someone, but that'd be about it.
I mean, do you want to have her do that to some of you guys? Do you want to go explore down in that sinkhole?
Don't know. Like, do we even have climbing gear to make it down there? I think we do.
I don't know if you have climbing gear.
I mean, I know Saryth did, but then she bought enough shit to last the party for some time, so... Climbing gear. Yeah, she had a climbing kit, but she only had one for herself. Which probably doesn't fit a centaur. Actually, hold that thought. Be right back.
Alright.
Pardon me. I'm gonna hit the button for a second. Okay, so we're at Hisari. Do you guys want to explore the sinkhole or the overgrown ruins?
I guess you could take a peek at the sinkhole. That could have something interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So the first challenge is how you get down. I think you guys hatched one idea for having Zendala cast Fly on somebody to carry another person down. So I'd say in theory it could get the two of you down there.
Oh, actually, yeah, if she casts Fly on Xanthiel, Xanthiel's like more than strong enough to carry probably like someone on her back and then carrying another person in her arms.
I will say
she is monstrously strong.
The one question is how you get back out. Because how long does Fly last? Is that an hour?
It's like 10 minutes, I think.
Or 10 minutes?
I think I can't see Zendalla's. Actually, can I?
Should be able to. Let me look at her spell.
Gotta find where it is.
Fly. 10 minutes, yeah. So I'll say if you wanna have her pop Fly on you, yeah, you can have
like ferry people down.
Well, she's only got 3 casts a day.
Yeah, but you know, like she'd only need probably 2 to do it, like 2 trips, because there's how many people in the group now? There's like 6 or 5 NPCs. Because you got Zendala, Artis, and what's her name? Shit, Samika, I think. Something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Masika.
Masika is with you guys.
Yeah, so that's them 3 plus Xanthiel, Gal, who weighs basically nothing, and Murakata.
So,
and Xanthiel is a Fae, so she can get quite a lot of use out of her strength thing. I think she counts as 1 size larger.
So I think mechanically, if you guys want to go down in there, I'll say y'all can get
Like the
down in
flying
there,
bombs.
but you're gonna have to take a long rest to get back out.
Yeah, well, it'd be impossible otherwise because Zindalu won't have enough spell slots.
Okay, well let's burn her level 3 spell slots.
Only 2 of them.
2 of them. There's 6 of you.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, Xandiel can take 2 people down with her, given her
It's
strength.
still gonna take the last 2 spells to get the last 2 out because artists can't hold on to 2 people and fly down 300 feet safely.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm just gonna say she burns her spell slots.
Okay.
You get down into the kind of the dark pit that is this sinkhole. The bottom of it is kind of a rubble-strewn. It looks like a city after it got hit by an earthquake, right? So the whole city the whole southern half of the city collapsed in on itself and fell about 300 feet. The light here is twilight at best. You guys search around. What do we find? Let's see here. So how do you guys do you guys want to search the rubble? Like there's really no intact buildings. This is kind of like a mile by mile rubblescape at the bottom of a pit. That said, like there's definitely the detritus of a Yuan-Ti civilization here. You can see chunks of wall that have, here and there. There's paintings on, or like chunks of paintings of wall depicting like fragments of images with Yuan-Ti and snakes in them. What do you want to do down here?
Is there anything interesting, like any standout sort of iconography or anything like that? Or so I guess Anthony will be like recording all this, like what's down here, but only so far as anything particularly interesting, noteworthy.
Yeah, I think 2 images that appear quite a lot in all of this rubble. There's kind of an Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail motif that you can kind of piece together looking at various things here, either through carvings or relief work or snippets of frescoes you can see. The other thing that stands out is a image of a giant winged serpent erupting from, sometimes it looks like a volcano, sometimes it looks like a mountain, sometimes it's not really clear, but those 2 motifs, one of the Ouroboros and one of a winged kind of, not a quaddle, but like the primordial quaddle, if that makes sense. Those 2 sets of symbolism kind of recur in the stuff you can find here.
Okay.
Let's see. Have either of you studied history or religion much in the past?
I believe I've got history. Let me double check. But this is actually sort of the path that I was hoping for. I've got a no. I just have the +3 from intelligence on them.
I'll have a look. What was it? Sorry, history or what?
History or religion?
Well, funnily enough, the cleric does have.
Shocking, a cleric.
Religion. Yeah, it's almost like I was forced to take it. So do you want me to just roll it, or?
I mean, either of you can roll either. I'm gonna say you guys have a solid afternoon down here to fuck about. So
You have guidance as
sure.
for whatever that means. 21. There we go.
So on a
Damn,
religion
going to
sense,
Saryth?
okay. So that's the religion covered. Gale, do you want to do a history check?
Yeah, I'll just give a history check, see how that goes. Find it in this.
Oh, pardon me.
There we go, attributes.
Just almost. Oh, it's crazy.
There we go.
So, on the religion front, I'm going to treat these as kind of party roles, as the two of you are kind of picking through all this stuff. Masika, just to paint the scene a little bit, Masika's not too happy to be here. She's just like, why are we looking at a bunch of fucking Yuan-Ti ruins? Like, she just doesn't care. So she's hanging out. Artis is hanging out with Zendala, mostly because Zendala doesn't seem like she's going along with the group right now. And Artis is just kind of trying to
cheer her up a bit.
He's trying to be a dad, but he doesn't know how, so it's really awkward. And Masika's just kind of next to them, like, this is like
third wheeling for her.
This is just like the three of them are both just like, this is family reunion level awkward bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And
Batman Beyond bullshit even.
You two, meanwhile, are just like gallivanting around the ruins, like fascinated by this shit.
Well, it's two history nerds. So what do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Gail's whole thing here was let's see if we can find anything that might indicate volcanic stuff.
Yeah. So on the religion front, between the images and your knowledge of religious lore, oh my god. Pardon me. I just got hit by a wave of being tired. So, Xanthiel, you recall Yuan-Ti follow, to a fault, various serpent deities and lesser deities. The most consistent legends or knowledge of Yuan-Ti's beliefs, which is sketchy at best for outsiders, is that they often place a creature called Dendar, the Night Serpent, at the top of their serpent god hierarchy. And you're pretty sure that the images here are all of Dendar or associated to Dendar. The vague legends of Dendar claim that at some point, so right now Dendar is asleep or doesn't exist or something like that, and at some point Dendar is going to awaken and usher in the end of the world. And so a lot of the imagery here is very much messianic or apocalyptic Dendar rising mythology, symbology.
Yeah.
On a history perspective, Gale, this is a much larger and more cohesive Yuan-Ti settlement than anything you've heard of or read of. I'll say at the score that you got, your knowledge is kind of, it's better than amateur, but it's not fantastic. You think that probably the collapse of this city happened at some point around the Spell Plague. I mean, unfortunately, Chult was kind of a literal blank page in most history books because nobody in the Sword Coast cared about Chult except as a place where you got shit from, and the Omnians had control of it. But you're pretty certain that just based on the amount of damage here and what you know of Yuan-Ti society, there was probably a sudden and intense event, i.e. the sinkhole opening, and your best guess is that something with the spell plague caused this city to collapse, and the Yuan-Ti probably had to abandon it. I think that's about everything that you guys would figure out here in an afternoon of traipsing about the rubble.
Got it noted down.
All right.
For what it's worth, for both of you, the size of this city indicates that, and you guys kind of already know this, but there's a much larger Yuan-Ti population in Chult than at least the
Than
Sword
what
Coast.
most people think. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, usually Yuan-Ti are whispers and rumors, right? And you guys have been attacked by multiple of them while you've been about the forest here.
Yeah.
Or
And that would
jungle.
normally be pretty freaking unusual, but
Yeah, they usually operate from the shadows and don't make themselves known. So yeah, getting assaulted multiple times by Yuan-Ti is kind of weird.
yeah. It's like almost like we like pissed off the god or something. Or high risk cleric. So I guess we there doesn't seem to be anything else around, is there? Like the place has been picked over or something?
It's really hard to tell. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anything of value here, from like a food or survival or money standpoint.
Yep.
That said, based on the condition of the city above, you know that this collapse had to have happened quite
A
some
long
time
time
ago.
so.
Yeah. And also, this was a very populated city when it collapsed. So there's a
They
good
probably
chance
took all
that
of it with them.
the residents of the city maybe took whatever they wanted from it before abandoning it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry, there's no +5.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Very well.
But you've
I
found
guess we
the ruined city of Hisari, which very few people even know exists.
should just make sure it's kept in the notes, and then we skedaddle on out of here, I guess.
This
Once the battle's ready.
belongs in a museum. That's funny. I gave her Featherfall and Fly. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, one of them's a reaction.
Oh yeah.
What'd she pick for a 4th level spell, I wonder?
She doesn't have any 4th level spells because I forgot to level her up to 4th level to 7th level.
Sure.
So there you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
I could look at that real quick. Well, you guys decide if you want to do anything else. Where is Zendala?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I couldn't find it.
Cool. Stop telling me that. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Not you. That every time I open D&D Beyond, it's like you have a VTT but no account. Yeah, great. Well, she
Yeah,
doesn't.
I mean, I have no airing ideas right now, so.
I guess we just, keep heading south towards Omo or something.
Okay. I'm just double checking her spells real quick. I said add spells. Jesus. 4th level. She gets 1. I think based on events that have happened lately, she learns Dimension Door.
Yeah.
You can disagree with me, but she's understanding the value of a tactical retreat more than before. So
it's not a retreat, you're advancing in the other direction.
Strategically advancing in 180-degree direction. Okay, so if you guys, do you guys all decide to camp here?
Yeah, I mean,
It's that or
Oh,
try to
no,
make the centaur climb out.
yeah,
which isn't
I
going to
think
happen.
I don't think I'll do that just quite yet.
Although I guess Gale could just levitate all the way out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gale's fine.
we could, yeah, but
Doesn't help
you know,
anybody else.
You can have fun in the jungle by yourself then.
yeah, that would be a bit of a bad idea.
So we'll do the wavy fingers. You guys have a very eerie night down here. Nothing attacks you over the night, but it's really weird setting up a camp amid a mile radius of rubble. um, you guys manage to find kind of a slightly flat area, but you don't get a terribly great night's sleep. Um, you also wake up later than normal because for the first time in a long time, um, the temperature is actually kind of not terrible. Uh,
It's like it's
being
dropping.
well, just being sunken down and kind of out of the jungle itself, you don't hear the omnipresent chirping, bird call, insect sounds, and all that all night. And you all wake up a little late because the sunlight doesn't actually hit you guys down in this sinkhole. Um, so you all wake up after an unrestful night, but oddly rested, if that makes sense. Like you had a good night's sleep in a shitty place. Um,
Ah, I'm familiar with that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you wake up more refreshed than you would think, but also to kind of a weird hellscape uh, of just this collapsed Yuan-Ti city. Um, and unless you
Oh,
decide otherwise, y'all fly back out with Zendala's slots.
and Xanthia also had cast continual flame before she went to sleep with make her weapon glow.
Okay. Your weapon glowed all night.
Looks like a fire.
Is that her mace?
Yep.
Oh,
Mace
you
is now a torch.
flaming mace. Um,
But hey, it lasts forever, so that's good.
that was. I'm just thinking of Fullings and Valheim right now. Fuckers. Anyway, okay. So you get out. The big question for you guys is, do you want to head south into the wastes or continue going through the forest?
I'd probably suggest going through the forest and skirt the mountain, avoid the waste maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it would be nice to get out of the forest.
Still there?
You cut off.
Hello?
Hi,
Hey.
you cut off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said as much as it'd be nice to get out of the forest into the wastes, probably not.
Okay. I'm gonna draw a few lines on the map real quick and then get to that. So I'm picking your guys' progress out. Just so that I do it now, because if I don't do it now, who knows when it will ever happen. Okay, so I'm adding a bunch of lines on the map. So it sounds like you guys kind of want to follow the path I just drew in blue from Hisari down, kind of hugging the edge of the forest or jungle, hugging the edge of the foothills of the mountain.
Why not?
Okay.
Works for me.
So at this point, you know, a few days ahead of you, there is a campsite that you can stay at, which is the camp of another adventuring group that the other half of the party found previously. The real question, I guess, is if you want to head towards Omu. Are you guys looking to just kind of beeline to Omu, or are you looking to do anything else?
I don't know. I guess we kind of head to Omo unless we want to like talk to these guys for any particular reason.
There's no people there. It was
there's nothing.
it was an
It's just a
abandoned
campsite.
camp. Yeah, it was an abandoned camp.
I guess check it over for supplies before we keep going.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure. Oh, well, God, what did I just do?
Oh no, what did you do?
Made a line that makes it look like a drunk 5-year-old drew it.
Maybe we're all drunk 5-year-olds and we don't know it.
Could be. I'll say
Yeah.
you head to the Yellow Banner camp.
I mean, I'll have you know I'm not quite that young.
Sure thing, young whippersnapper.
Oh boy.
Get off my lawn.
So let's see
Stop
here.
playing rap music.
Yeah, I was listening to AC/DC music from probably the 90s today, so there you go. I wasn't driving my minivan though.
No.
So the
AC/DC in a minivan is probably peak dad.
You're not wrong.
I'm sorry, I don't make the rules.
I mean, I'm pretty much peak dad, so there you go. I got 3 kids at this point.
Oh boy.
I love when people with pickup trucks look at me like I'm somehow less than them for driving a minivan. At which point I want to say, A, I've had 3 kids, so I can get it done. B, I can fit.
Fuck you, stop judging me.
I can fit an entire sheet of plywood in the back of my car. Show me a pickup truck that's bed that can fit an entire sheet of plywood in it without hanging off the edge, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Good, but not with those kind of, not when you keep moving the goalposts like that.
I'm just saying, I can close the trunk door.
Oh, just show off what it just.
Just have a whole stack of plywood in there. Like, nobody would even know. Anyway. Sorry, I had a coworker that used to give me shit about
it.
Minivans, and I just wanted to be like, well, you know what? If you want to question my manliness, it means I had enough kids that I need to have a fucking minivan, so back off. If that's how we're playing this game. So, the Yellow Banner camp, because that's a great segue. So you would have found out from the other group that this camp had been another adventuring party, also hired by Sandra Sylvain to find the Soulmonger. From a supplies perspective, you guys can find probably a couple rations and a place to stay for the night. However, at this point, you're about a week behind a camp that had already been ransacked a week before that in the jungle. You also know that this Yellow Banner company had one of their members abducted by Yuan-Ti and supposedly dragged back to Omu. And so, from a letter that the Yellow Banner company had left that the other group found, it sounds like that Yellow Banner company was making all haste to Omu to try and rescue the Dragonborn paladin that had been captured, and the other party also.
The Dragonborn.
Yeah, he was a Dragonborn paladin. Outside
Depends
of that,
on how many shouts he wants, I suppose. Oh.
Do Fuss Bra?
Fusroda. I think, Fusroda was the only one I bothered using. Because turning on physics is great.
I said it wrong. intentionally. Yeah, you failed your Skyrim nerd card test, so.
I did, yeah.
It's Fussroda is the force shout. Anyway.
Inside to check your line. Anyway.
It's Fussroda. Come on, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Gail, can you back me up on this one? Did you play Skyrim?
Yeah. Fussroda.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. When you wake up in the morning, you wake up in the back of the cart. You're back in the Sword Coast, and the man across from you says, "Finally, you're awake."
Hey, you're finally awake.
Roll initiative.
You were trying to cross the border, right?
We're about to fight a black dragon, I guess.
Alrighty. This is taking a turn.
It certainly has the shortest PC life outside of Elnies.
I'll be sure to hand in some pamphlets.
Yeah, hand some pamphlets to Medusas and see how that goes for you. Well, at least we have in-jokes about the campaign already. Yeah, so you know that the yellow banner... So what has happened? This is kind of Scooby-Dooey. Yuan-Ti grabbed the paladin. They dragged him off to Omu. The yellow banner followed the trail of the Yuan-Ti. Thursday party followed that trail. And now you guys, I guess if you want, have a pretty easy trail to follow to Omu because 3 other groups have already blazed it.
Yeah, fair enough. Might as well. Like they're headed the same way we are.
Yep. I'll say that given that it's actually very easy for you guys to get to Omu at this point. So, do you guys follow the trail or diverge from it? What do you do?
I don't think there's any particular reason to blaze a trail unless...
I mean, keep an eye out for anything left in front of us, but sure.
Cool. So you guys are arriving at Omu probably about a week overall after. I'm going to say between Zandala being able to kind of judiciously use fly and various party members being able to take advantage of Xanthiel's speed and endurance. If you guys choose to, you've probably made this trek pretty quickly compared to the completely footbound group. So we're about a week behind the other group, but you enter Omu. And we will activate Omu.
That was preloaded because that alerted instantly.
So yeah, I know I did it right for once. So this is where it's going to get fun, and we'll kind of jump back and forth, and I'll be retconning things based on what... Whoa, Jesus. That was not the right button. Things you know so far from the other group. This entire... Well, here, let's do this way. And Saryth, were you here when I did the Omu description last time? Or, I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
but
okay.
Again, that'd be Saryth's knowledge, not...
Yeah, you have to... This is what you get for attending all the sessions.
Alright.
So if you're following the same path, you enter on the south side of Omu. Pardon me. And so the jungle parts to reveal a dead city enclosed by sheer cliffs about 100 to 150 feet high. Those are the cliffs all around the city you see on the map here. You also know from the other party that there are a truly astounding number of gargoyles that guard the cliffs here, to the point that if you try to fly into Omu or get near the cliffs of Omu, you will be attacked by swarms of gargoyles. They don't know why, just that that's a thing that can happen. The city itself is ruined. Most of the buildings have either collapsed or are being overtaken by the jungle. There are stone boulevards that rise above the surrounding air. You can see a few of them running north to south on this map, and one kind of running east-west above that giant lava pit. There's a waterfall to the northeast that pours into the basin, creating a swollen, flooded area that flows from the northeast wall south through the city and past what appears to be a large palace compound until finally falling into a giant, basically it looks like a sinkhole full of lava. There's a ruined palace to the east of the city. That's the giant kind of circular thing. And I think that's most of what you would know of the city just looking at it. From the other party, you know that this front gatehouse is uninhabited. That's point 1 on the map. From the spotty communications you've gotten from the sending stone, you also know that they explored spot number 5, which had a very bizarre ceremony where a bunch of veggie pygmies seemingly kicked a living grung into the lava and then dispersed.
Nice.
Yep. So nobody in this campaign likes grung, apparently.
All my homies hate grung.
Yep. And then the other group then made their way up to spot 4 where it says Shigambi. That is Shigambi's shrine, and they pretty much kind of sort of solved that. And then they headed over to a compound to the west of that. And so I'm going to be pretty vague with the details of what the other party did just because they've been communicating by the sending stone. So
which is limited.
So you wouldn't have like detailed maps. You just can kind of, from the brief descriptions they've given, you can piece together the rest of that.
Although I would point out that now that Xanthiel could communicate with them through the sending stone, she could also just cast sending herself now that she knows what they look like, and cast that quite a bit more often than just once a day.
Actually, I think a fun point about the attunement with the sending stone is I don't think it would work after Saryth left.
Yeah, that's true.
So you guys knew what Saryth knew up until Saryth left, which would have been this, and now you would actually have to meet up with the other group to resync the sending stones. I'm gonna step away for 1 second, but we'll probably get into Omu for a few minutes, and then
Go with the other group, and then take it in shifts to clear this place out.
Yep. So I'll be right back. And back. So yeah, you guys are at the steps entering Omu, which is the very southwestern corner of the map.
I guess we'd try to sync up with the other group first, just to maintain contact.
Okay. How do you? So the last known.
Try to find them.
Yeah, the last known location of that group is that compound at the number 2 on the map. So do you guys enter down? Do you walk in, or how do you wanna get there?
Oh, we'll try to follow. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, just follow the path. Like, it should be fairly evident where they've been, unless they've been trying to hide their tracks.
So the pathway down the stairs into the main gatehouse is well tread enough that it still exists as an actual path. If that makes sense, it's not wild and overgrown. As you approach, the gatehouse, or the guardhouse. It stands near the entrance to the city. There's arrow slits cut into the limestone walls, so it's made out of limestone. There's a lopsided portcullis made out of iron hanging over the gateway, kind of wedged into the portcullis tracks, so it's not going anywhere. It's not moving. It's just stuck open, and there's an open plaza beyond that.
I guess we just keep following the tracks.
Sure. So at this point, you're more following up a pathway than you are tracks per se. Just because there's enough traffic here, at least through the gatehouse, that like none of you are survival wilderness experts. So you're just, where are you?
Xanthiel's got points in it for survival, but yeah. And she's got.
I used to, I think.
Thanks to Observant, she has.
Yeah, I used to.
I guess I'm thinking more like a ranger or something might be able to discern.
Oh wait, no, yeah, I've got it. I just didn't want to show up on the sheet.
Weird.
And of course.
Rip. See if I can do any better.
That's why I didn't want to show up on the sheet.
Just keep in mind that Xanthiel's casting augury, and as a ritual, so she can kind of get the gist on it, possibly. It's a hint or not.
So augury is going to give you general information. It's not going to help you track someone. Does that make sense? Survival will help you track somebody.
19.
Fucking guidance again.
As if I'm going to play without it now.
I was going to say, have you ever made a character that doesn't have guidance?
Nope.
So you have a 19. All of the tracks on the pathway going through the gatehouse are going into the city. It's a mix of human and, humanoid and other creatures. You assume that the kind of sinuous pathways that you see that are almost completely faded are Yuan-Ti. But yeah, everybody followed the path that you know they already kind of sort of took. If that makes sense. Like, you know the other party passed through here. And you have completely satisfied to yourself that, yes, that is true.
Then I guess we just keep following the human path.
Cool. So as you go through the gatehouse, just so you have the description of it for future reference, the interior of the gatehouse, most of it has collapsed into rubble. Creepers, as in vines, cling to the walls, with high grasses sprouting between the flagstones. There's a few long dead campfires here and there, and there's one wall covered with graffiti, some of them painted, others etched. And I will paste the graffiti in for you in just a moment, as soon as I remember where the hell it is.
I would have Xanthiel copy it down to the graffiti marks into a journal.
Well, I'm about to post it for you. So amongst the various graffiti, you see some of the following things on the wall, all in common. One is "Fear the Fangs of Raz and Sea." Another one says, "Eric, I've gone in search of the 9 shrines. V." You can surmise that that's maybe the Yellow Banner Company. That one looks very recent. Another comment or another graffiti says, "The puzzle cubes are the key." Another one says, "Beware the frog monster." Another one says, "Who is Unk?" Then another says, "All hail the King of Feathers." One more says, "The snakes are not what they seem." And the final thing you can make out is, "Kubazan is bravery. Shigambi is wisdom. Moa is question mark. So then
Cool. Got a copy down.
You can write all that down. Do you guys want to do anything else in the gatehouse?
Do I notice anything unusual or anything like that? Playing my 21 perception here.
Oh, sure. In a corner, you notice a glinting, and as you inspect it, you find a beautifully painted longbow. It is painted and carved like a serpent, and it has tiny amber gemstones for eyes. It's an ornate longbow. It's worth something as an art object, but it is not specifically useful in any way as a weapon beyond just being a normal longbow.
It's just ornamental. So.
Yeah.
Well, she'll take that anyway.
Gale, do you want to do anything
Me.
here?
Nah.
Okay.
I wonder if Zendel can even use a longbow. I don't think so. That's just got shit for decks anyway, so it should be useless with it.
Who needs a bow when you've got a gun?
Exactly. Or you can just cast fire spells at them.
A magic gun, even.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know. Oh God. Sorry, guys. Apparently Saturday is my tired day. The adrenaline.
Actually, but yeah.
The adrenaline of the week has. Look, you live in the future, okay? You're weird. You and your Australian time and your ruse and your "G'day, mates" and all that bullshit.
Crikey, don't know what you're talking about, you bloody glar.
There you go, whatever you just said. So you know the other party kind of went from here to that promontory over the lava and then up to Shigambi's shrine. The last place you know that they went to was the walled compound, area number 2. They had found a person there who had been severely injured, and then the last communication you had with Saryth with them was when they had decided to camp there for the night. That was about a week ago.
Okay. Is the person still there, or is this on?
You have no idea.
Oh, sorry. Can we travel to that, I guess, area or compound?
Sure. What I'm going to say is that the travel from the gatehouse down to the elevated roadway, actually it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you guys are able to get there pretty easily since this doesn't cut through any of the heavily ruined areas. I didn't preload this, but let me find it and load it. There it is. Oh, this has... Oh, no, I didn't do it. Did I do it here? No, I don't think. Oh. Sorry, I'm remembering things. So it should be loading. Let me know once you can both see it.
There we go.
I should probably put some tokens on the map, huh? So you guys approach, and I'm just going to put the 2 of you up here. So you approach from the raised road to the east. Let's see, the party... I have to move tokens. So,
Why did they kill Beth?
what?
I said, why did they kill Beth? What did she do?
Oh boy. So yeah, as you approach this compound, you see a variety of bodies that it look like they have been. Oh,
Oh, they got fucked up.
Sebastian moved them all to a pyre. Never mind. You see blood stains on the ground. Kind of in this main courtyard. The bodies that you see on the map, they aren't there anymore. They're just part of the map, but they had been dragged. So you see blood stains where bodies had been dragging around a building behind the wall here. So this whole compound. Let me take a step back. Sorry. Um, you're looking through a wall that's about 10 feet high into a courtyard area. There's a well. There's blood stains on the ground. There is all the way to the west across from you a pile of charred bones with a glaive thrust into it. It looks like non-human bones are there, but you'd have to get closer to inspect it. And you can see a few buildings are definitely inside behind these 10-foot walls. You can see a few roofs. But that is as much as you can see from outside the compound.
Well, looks like someone had a party in here.
Great.
She advances a bit more cautious.
I'm just gonna go ahead and cast gun.
On what?
Because, hey, if anything does pop out, I would like to be able to shoot it first.
Fair enough.
Okay. Let's see. So you come up. That door is actually closed right now.
Yeah, no, it is for me anyway.
Yeah, you see a closed door there.
Cool. I ask it how it's done.
You ask the door how it's doing.
Yeah.
It responds in wood.
I'll roll an insight check on it, so I don't think it's telling the truth. And then I open the door.
Uh,
Oh, there's people. Kill them.
So this is interesting because you don't recognize any of these people, but you see you see a room full of sleeping people. One of them,
Zambino.
well, Zambino's not sleeping, but Zambino's a zombie who's not doing anything. But you see a sleeping Asimar, a sleeping Aarakocra, a Furbolg, a human, a half elf, and another human, and they are all sleeping.
Oh,
And I
sucks
think
for them. Because I've got AoEs. Wall of fire. Oh, okay.
I think I'll call it here, because I think they're all going to wake up momentarily, and we might have some out-of-game catch-up that happens between this section and next Thursday.
Hey, Saryth went fucking evil
Interesting.
and she stole a ship.
Because I guess, so you know, and it may not matter for the others until I can type it up, but they wake up a week later from that weird dream they had.
Oh yeah, because time passed and shit in it too, didn't it?
Yeah,
Like it didn't float.
so I think we're gonna catch up on that. Otherwise, thank you guys. I'm gonna stop the recording, but thank you everyone for playing, and we'll be back.